Sci-fi game are getting more ambitious every year, and honestly, the upcoming lineup is looking stacked. So today we're going through 25 upcoming sci-fi games that are bringing big worlds, cool gadgets, crazy creatures, and all the futuristic chaos we love. So let's check out what's coming next in the sci-fi genre.
Holy shit. What are you?
Soul Shogunate is the debut project from Chaos Manufacturing, described as the world's first samurai space opera, blending feudal Japanese tradition with a sweeping sci-fi universe. Launching in 2027 for consoles and PC, it's a single-player third-person action RPG where players embody Yuzuki, the last heir of a fallen samurai family navigating a shattered legacy in a future where the way of the sword rules. The game emphasizes fluid, spectacle-driven combat, cinematic storytelling, and a unique musical core that ties battles and narrative together, aiming to deliver an unforgettable fusion of drama, emotion, and artistry. With its striking alt-future setting, Soul Shogunate promises to merge combat, story, and music into a cohesive experience that resonates long after the credits roll. Menace is an upcoming turn-based tactical RPG from Overhype Studios, creators of Battle Brothers, set to release on February 5th, 2026 under publisher Hooded Horse. The game places players in the lawless Wayback System, where they lead a strike force of Marines, mercenaries, and criminals against alien threats, pirates, corporations, and fractured governments. Combining strategic squad management with detailed turn-based combat, players can train and customize infantry, deploy tanks and mechs, and execute complex missions across diverse planets. Choices matter, as resource allocation, troop survival, and narrative decisions shape the campaign's outcome. With its blend of sci-fi horror, dark fantasy atmosphere, and tactical depth, Menace promises a challenging, story-rich experience that expands on Overhype's reputation for immersive strategy. Outpost 2 Orbital Siege is a provisional sequel to Outpost Infinity Siege, currently in early concept stages blending FPS, real-time strategy, and tower defense mechanics into a massive sci-fi experience. Unlike its predecessor's static defenses, this installment introduces a mobile fortress revolution, allowing players to command a battleship-like base equipped with drones for autonomous resource harvesting and item collection. The game emphasizes survival against overwhelming odds, with battles featuring waves of 10,000-plus enemies and colossal divine mega-construct bosses that demand tactical coordination and adaptive play. While not yet fully confirmed as a commercial release, the concept trailer showcases ambitious visuals and gameplay innovations, promising a next-generation hybrid of base building, action combat, and large-scale siege warfare that could redefine the genre if development continues. Aphelion is an upcoming narrative-driven sci-fi action-adventure from Don't Nod, slated for release in 2026 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S PC, and Game Pass. Set in the year 2060, when Earth has become uninhabitable, humanity discovers a ninth planet named Persephone at the edge of the solar system. The European Space Agency launches the Hope 01 mission, sending astronauts Ariane and Thomas to survey Persephone and determine if it can sustain human life. The game blends cinematic storytelling, exploration, and stealth mechanics with emotional character-driven drama, marking Don't Nod's first human story in space. With its frozen world setting, grounded realism from ESA collaboration, and focus on survival and moral choices, Aphelion promises a deeply atmospheric journey that explores humanity's resilience and hope beyond Earth.
What are you?
EVE Vanguard is CCP Games' ambitious upcoming MMO FPS set in the EVE Online universe, slated for Steam Early Access in summer 2026. Unlike the spacefaring focus of EVE Online, this title brings players down to planetary surfaces, where they embody immortal war clones fighting for power, infamy, and survival. Set 21,000 years in the future, the game blends PvE and PvP in faction-driven expeditions, emphasizing squad-based combat, resource collection, and tactical decision-making. Recent deployments like Operation Nemesis introduce new maps, enemies, and weaponry, showcasing CCP's iterative approach to development. With its integration into the broader New Eden narrative, EVE Vanguard aims to deliver a ground-level perspective of galactic conflict, expanding the franchise into a hybrid of shooter intensity and sandbox strategy while maintaining the player-driven legacy that defines EVE. Exodus is an upcoming sci-fi role-playing game from Archetype Entertainment, a studio founded by former BioWare veterans James Olin, Chad Robertson, and Drew Karpyshyn, and published by Wizards of the Coast. Set for release in 2026 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, the game unfolds 40,000 years in the future within the Omega Centauri cluster, where humanity struggles against powerful alien beings known as the Celestials. Players step into the role of Jun Aslan, a salvager-turned-traveler, tasked with recovering celestial remnants to save humanity while navigating the consequences of time dilation, where choices echo across generations. Featuring cinematic storytelling, companion relationships, and moral complexity reminiscent of Mass Effect, Exodus promises a blend of exploration, combat, and narrative depth. With actor Matthew McConaughey lending his voice and ESA collaboration ensuring scientific authenticity, the game is positioned as a bold, emotional journey into survival, sacrifice, and the fate of humanity.
Target acquired.
Many thanks again for your help.
Delusion Out of Space is an upcoming Lovecraftian sci-fi horror shooter developed by Have a Dream and 2Cake Studio, set to release in 2026 on Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo platforms. The game strands players aboard a derelict alien spacecraft after failed experiments by the mysterious Nyarlathotep race, where survival hinges on exploration, puzzle solving, and tense combat against mutated creatures and failed lab experiments. A disembodied voice guides you through collapsing corridors as life support systems fail, forcing critical choices that determine your fate and the lives of others. Blending first-person shooting, adventure mechanics, and psychological horror, the game emphasizes atmosphere and narrative branching, promising a chilling mix of cosmic dread and player agency. With its eerie setting, alien experimentation themes, and survival-driven design, Delusion Out of Space aims to deliver a haunting, story-rich experience that merges mystery, danger, and existential terror. Directive 8020 is the fifth entry in the Dark Pictures anthology by Supermassive Games, launching in the first half of 2026 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Serving as the opening chapter of Season 2, it shifts the series' horror narrative into deep space, where Earth is dying and humanity seeks survival aboard the spaceship Cassiopeia. Players follow 5 protagonists, including Brianna Young, as they confront paranoia, dwindling resources, and alien threats while navigating a multilinear plot where choices can lead to permanent character deaths. Built on Unreal Engine 5, the game introduces a new mechanic called turning points, allowing players to rewind pivotal decisions to alter outcomes. With its blend of interactive drama, survival horror, and branching storylines, Directive 8020 promises a tense, cinematic experience that expands the anthology into a chilling sci-fi frontier.
I know this will be difficult to hear, but if you're still out there, you deserve the truth.
Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core is an upcoming 1 to 4 player co-op FPS roguelite from Ghost Ship Games, expanding the beloved Deep Rock Galactic universe with a darker, more experimental twist. Instead of miners, players take on the role of elite reclaimers tasked with investigating abandoned mining facilities overrun by deadly core spawn. Featuring procedurally generated caves, intense firefights, and roguelite progression, the game emphasizes replayability and squad synergy. Early access is planned, with developers promising to refine mechanics through community feedback. A new, not yet officially announced 5th class has been teased, adding fresh tactical depth to the roster. With its blend of chaotic combat, atmospheric exploration, and evolving class systems, Rogue Core aims to deliver a challenging, endlessly replayable experience that builds on the For Rock and Stone legacy while pushing the series into bold new territory. Halo Campaign Evolved is a ground-up remake of the original. Halo Combat Evolved, developed by Halo Studios and published by Xbox Game Studios, set to release in 2026 for Xbox Series X and S, Windows PC, and PlayStation 5. Built on Unreal Engine 5, the game reimagines the legendary campaign with remastered 4K visuals, expanded missions, and brand new story content, while retaining iconic weapons, vehicles, and the core feel of the original. It supports 2-player split screen on consoles, 4-player online co-op across platforms, and seamless cross-progression, making it the most accessible Halo campaign to date. Arriving day one on Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass, it represents the definitive way to relive Master Chief's first battle against the Covenant, rebuilt with 25 years of community feedback and modern technology. Lunar Strike is the debut sci-fi narrative adventure from independent studio Cognition Europe, set to release in May 2026 on PC and consoles. Blending speculative fiction with hard science, the game emphasizes survival and character-driven storytelling rather than combat. Players step into the role of Bo, a tech-augmented astro-archivist tasked with preserving humanity's lunar legacy as the moon faces imminent collapse and destruction. The narrative unfolds as a race against time, where exploration, emotional choices, and safeguarding relics of human presence become central to gameplay. With its atmospheric design, richly written characters, and focus on existential themes, Lunar Strike aims to deliver a deeply immersive experience that balances scientific realism with speculative drama, offering players a poignant journey through humanity's final moments on the moon.
I don't know. Am I mistaking data for an afterlife?
Pragmata is Capcom's highly anticipated new sci-fi action-adventure IP, now slated for release in 2026 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XLS, and PC. First revealed in 2020, the game has undergone multiple delays but returned with fresh previews at Tokyo Game Show 2025. Set in a near-future dystopia, the story follows Hugh, a mysterious astronaut, and Diana, an android girl, as they journey across a devastated Earth and ultimately to the moon. Gameplay blends third-person shooting, puzzle mechanics, and cinematic exploration, with combat designed to feel strategic and immersive rather than purely fast-paced. Capcom emphasizes emotional storytelling, striking visuals powered by RE Engine, and a mix of action and cerebral gameplay. Positioned as one of Capcom's boldest original projects, Pragmata aims to deliver a haunting yet hopeful narrative about survival, companionship, and humanity's future among the stars. Remnant Protocol is an upcoming space combat flight sim strategy game from indie developer Progenitor Game Studios Limited, set to launch on March 12, 2026 in early access on Steam. The game unfolds in a galaxy plunged into chaos after the assassination of the Blessed Mother, with usurpers ruling through bloodshed and tyranny. Players command squadrons of ships in large-scale battles, balancing tactical decision-making with fast-paced dogfights across stunning cosmic environments. Featuring roguelite progression, squad management, and VR support, Remnant Protocol emphasizes replayability and player-driven strategy. Its narrative centers on restoring the Blessed Mother's light through the mysterious protocol, blending simulation, sci-fi storytelling, and intense vehicular combat. With procedurally generated encounters, diverse ship customization, and community-driven development during early access, the game promises a mix of cinematic atmosphere and deep tactical gameplay that appeals to fans of both flight sims and roguelikes. Rivage is an upcoming sci-fi puzzle adventure from Ex Nihilo Studio, published by Raw Fury, set to release on PC via Steam in 2026. The story unfolds in the 25th century when humanity has expanded beyond the solar system and discovered the planet Vesta, believed to hold promise as a new home. To study it, the ARES space station is launched into orbit, but a mysterious cosmic phenomenon traps the station and its crew. Players take on the role of Miranda, who awakens alone aboard the station, forced to explore its eerie corridors, solve intricate puzzles, and uncover the fate of her missing crew. Designed as a story-rich, atmospheric experience, Rivage emphasizes immersion, mystery, and emotional depth, blending exploration with logic-based challenges to deliver a haunting yet thoughtful journey through isolation and survival in deep space.
The clues are all around me.
SpaceCraft is an upcoming open-world space simulator from Shiro Games, the studio behind Northgard and Dune, Spice Wars, set to launch in early access on PC via Steam in 2025. The game combines exploration, shipbuilding, base construction, automation, and tactical space combat into a vast sandbox experience. Players can travel across a procedurally generated galaxy filled with solar systems and planets, mine and craft resources, design and customize ships, and establish planetary bases with interplanetary logistics. Cooperative and online play allow trading and collaboration, while humanity's survival story unfolds in the year 2350, when ancient technologies awaken hostile autonomous war machines known as tripods. With its blend of survival, strategy, and creative freedom, SpaceCraft aims to deliver a deep, system-driven experience that appeals to fans of both simulation and sci-fi adventure. Star Atlas is an ambitious next-generation grand strategy MMO developed by ATMTA, built in Unreal Engine 5 and powered by the Solana blockchain with a planned launch by the end of 2025. Set in the expansive universe of Gallia, the game combines space exploration, faction warfare, ship-to-ship combat, FPS missions, and empire building within a player-driven economy where assets like ships, crew, and resources hold real-world value. Players can enlist in factions, customize fleets, explore planets, and engage in PvE dogfights, racing, and arena battles. The game emphasizes immersive visuals, detailed interiors, and large-scale galactic conquest, while integrating blockchain-based ownership and trading. Despite financial setbacks following the FTX collapse, ATMTA continues development, aiming to deliver a AAA quality sci-fi MMO that merges traditional gameplay depth with decentralized economics, offering both strategic empire management and intense action experiences.
They're gonna kill us for it!
If that's the case, there's only one thing we can do.
Star Wars Eclipse is an upcoming narrative-driven action-adventure game from Quantic Dream, currently in early development and set during the High Republic era, centuries before the Skywalker saga. Known for their branching choice storytelling in titles like Detroit Become Human, Quantic Dream is crafting an ensemble-driven experience where players control multiple characters, each with unique motivations, moralities, and consequences that ripple across the galaxy. The game promises deeply branching narratives, new characters, and original environments, blending cinematic presentation with player agency. Unlike traditional linear Star Wars titles, Eclipse emphasizes replayability through divergent storylines shaped by player decisions, while still delivering the grandeur of space battles, political intrigue, and Jedi lore. Though no release date has been confirmed, it is positioned as one of the most ambitious Star Wars projects in development, aiming to merge Quantic Dream's interactive drama expertise with the epic scale of the Star Wars universe. The Expanse, Osiris Reborn is an upcoming third-person sci-fi action RPG developed and published by Owlcat Games, set within the universe of James S. A. Corey's acclaimed The Expanse series. Launching on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S with a release date still TBA, the game places players in the 24th century, where fragile alliances between Earth, Mars, and the Belt teeter on collapse. You assume command of the Pinkwater Security Mercenary Squad, piloting a space frigate while navigating conspiracies that begin on asteroid Eros and spiral into a solar system-wide struggle. Gameplay emphasizes crew management, exploration, and tactical combat, with Owlcat promising a balance of realism and accessibility. Narrative choices shape relationships and survival, forcing players to adapt as trust erodes and factions vie for dominance. With its blend of RPG depth, cinematic storytelling, and authentic lore, Osiris Reborn aims to deliver a definitive interactive experience for fans of The Expanse.
Thanks.
Atomic Heart 2 is the upcoming sequel to Mundfish's 2023 retro-futuristic shooter, officially announced at Summer Game Fest 2025 and targeting a 2026 release on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. Expanding beyond the contained Facility 3826 setting of the first game, the sequel unfolds on a global scale, with new characters, factions, and environments that deepen its dystopian alternate history Soviet aesthetic. Powered by Unreal Engine 5, it introduces enhanced RPG systems, including skill upgrades, special abilities, and extensive weapon customization. Combat has been reworked to allow dual-handed mechanics, mixing glove powers with melee and ranged weapons for dynamic combos. Mundfish promises a larger open world filled with exploration, surreal encounters, and narrative choices, aiming to elevate the franchise into a more ambitious cinematic action RPG experience while retaining its signature blend of bizarre sci-fi and brutal combat. Breathedge 2 is the sequel to Red Ruin Softworks' satirical survival hit, published by Hype Train Digital and planned for release in the first quarter of 2026 on PC via Steam One. Building on the absurd humor and cosmic chaos of the original, the game sends players on a reckless mission through deep space, where exploration, crafting, and crew management collide with bizarre dangers. You'll construct bases, automate systems, and pilot ships while contending with hostile environments and the ever-present chicken companion. Unlike its predecessor's more linear survival, Breathedge 2 expands into a sandbox-style open world, emphasizing resource management, base building, and narrative encounters with an evil space corporation. A demo was released in February 2025, showcasing its blend of comedy, atmospheric design, and survival mechanics. With its mix of parody, immersive sim elements, and expanded gameplay depth, Breathedge 2 aims to deliver a more ambitious, chaotic, and replayable cosmic adventure. Causal Loop is an upcoming narrative-driven sci-fi puzzle adventure. EV Frontier is CCP Games' ambitious upcoming space survival MMO, distinct from EVE Online but set in the same universe, currently in Founder Access as of June 2025. Built with Unreal Engine 5, it emphasizes manual flight, tactile controls, and survival mechanics rather than traditional MMO combat. Players inhabit riders, awakened clones cast into a hostile galaxy with no memory, tasked with building shelters, forging tribes, scavenging resources, and defending against annihilation. The game features cycles, seasonal updates that reshape gameplay, with Cycle 4 arriving in December 2025. A core innovation is Smart Assemblies, an open-ended construction system enabling players to design bases, infrastructure, and Stargate networks limited only by creativity. Unlike EVE Online's economic warfare, Frontier focuses on harsh survival, exploration, and community-driven progression, blending sandbox freedom with roguelike tension. CCP positions it as a visionary experiment in player-driven storytelling and galactic rebuilding. Exiledge is an upcoming third-person sci-fi action shooter developed by Chinese indie studio Enigmatrix Games, featured in Sony's China Hero project and showcased at China Joy 2025. Built on Unreal Engine 5, the game is set in the mysterious Talos Towers, massive ever-changing structures where humanity clings to survival as the world collapses. Players assume the role of Alter, a young tower diver with a hidden past, who must battle mutated enemies known as the Otherkin while uncovering the truth behind the catastrophe. Alongside Alter is Zora, a cloaked woman whose creations and legacy shape the fate of the towers. Gameplay emphasizes fast-paced combat, diverse weapons, and special abilities, blending high-speed futuristic action with narrative depth. Scheduled for release on PlayStation 5 and PC, Exiledge promises a visually striking, atmospheric experience that merges intense battles with a story of survival and discovery. Project VESPERI is an upcoming branching narrative sci-fi adventure from indie studio Last Praetorian Interactive, scheduled for release in the first quarter of 2026 on PC via Steam and the Epic Games Store. Players step into the role of Dr. Evelyn Roth, dispatched to investigate signs of life on Venus, where humanity has established a fragile station. When an intruder threatens the only habitable outpost, Evelyn must make choices that shape not only the survival of her crew, but the fate of humanity itself. Built with Unreal Engine 5, the game emphasizes cinematic storytelling, moral dilemmas, and replayability through divergent paths. A demo is already available, showcasing its atmospheric visuals and tension-driven narrative. With its mix of action-adventure mechanics, puzzle-solving, and character-driven drama, Project VESPERI promises a free, story-rich experience that blends scientific mystery with existential stakes.
Hand it over. Doctor.
Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Naughty Dog and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment exclusively for PlayStation 5. Announced in late 2024, it marks Naughty Dog's first original IP since The Last of Us and is set thousands of years in the future. The story follows Jordan A. Munn, played by Tati Gabrielle, a bounty hunter stranded on a remote planet while pursuing a powerful crime syndicate. Directed by Neil Druckmann, Matthew Gallant, and Kurt Margineau, with writing contributions from Druckmann and Claire Carré, the game promises a cinematic narrative blending survival, exploration, and moral complexity. Music is composed by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, adding a haunting, atmospheric tone. Positioned as the start of a new franchise, Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet combines Naughty Dog's hallmark storytelling with retro-futuristic sci-fi themes, aiming to deliver an emotionally charged, visually stunning experience that expands their creative legacy. And that's the full lineup of 25 upcoming sci-fi games. There's a lot to look forward to, so let me know which one you're keeping on your radar. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.